Okay, we stayed at the complex today to practice. We did half situational, staying off the ground, thud-up type situations, and then we scrimmaged half the time. And overall, the situations I thought were very good. We did 4 different scenarios of 2-minute. A lot of great teaching situations and moments on that. Then we did some red zone. Inside the 20 to the 10, we did 2nd and 10, then we did some 3rd downs. We also mixed in live punt return, which we did last Saturday, which was really good again as far as evaluation mode. We also went live kickoff return. Emphasis this year is really we got to get better in the coverage units, and that's the reason we're doing quite a bit more live in the spring than we have been in the past, and I really think that has really been a really good thing for us. Once we got to the scrimmage part, it was focused on our 2s and our 3s, and a lot of the young guys, just trying to give them opportunities to develop. So it was overall a really good practice. We had our Letterman's Day today. I think we had 450 Letterman. It's always great to have those guys back. I know our players were real excited about it. And good to have those guys back. On an injury update, just want to confirm Will Hastings did have an ACL surgery this past week. It went well. It was a really unfortunate deal on the sideline. He was coming out of bounds and got hit, and his foot just stuck in the ground right there. And then Nick Brahms has an ankle injury. He will be out for the rest of the spring, but we expect him to return ready to go for fall camp. But overall, I think it was a good day. Anders Carlson did kick a 62-yarder field goal in our scrimmage situation. I thought that was a positive. He had a really good day last Saturday too. So kicking game, I'm feeling good about it at this point. But like I said, overall, a good day, a lot of good work. We got a week left in spring, and I like where we're at as a unit. Questions?
Was Iggy on offense or defense?
He was on defense today. He's been on defense primarily the whole spring. We did have him for 1 day. The offense had him for 1 day last week, and that could possibly be the same this coming week. But he's got a pretty good foundation of offense, and we just want to make sure that he leaves spring with a good foundation over there. But coaches have been very impressed with the way he retains things and where he's at.
Does being short on centers, does that affect what you guys can get done in practice?
Yeah, we do. We have some centers that kind of have the injury bug too, and so that you've got to be strategic with everything that you do, and so that was part of the deal today, and it'll be part of the deal this coming week too.
Do you think about just moving Mike Horton for as a temporary?
We've talked about a couple different scenarios. We're not ready to go there yet. I mean, he is the type of player that's a veteran guy that you feel like could do that, but we want to give those other guys opportunities, and so. But that is a scenario that could be a possibility. Next year we'll see. That's we'll just see how he heals and all that. I mean, the surgery went well, so it's going to be hard to predict at this point. It's a big blow. I mean, obviously, I think everybody knows that. And him and Eli, very unfortunate. We've not had those situations, before.
The quarterbacks perform better today, you think? Do you think they learned from some things last week?
I think so. And of course, you got to keep in mind, one of them is a freshman fixing to be a sophomore. The other one should still be in high school. So I think Chip is pleased where they're at with their progression. You got to keep in mind, I mean, he's throwing everything at him. I mean, there's, like I said last time, Joey has to have the whole volume of offense in the install. And a lot of times, you have a guy come in like that and he's the 3 or 4 guy. Well, right now in spring, because of Jarrett's situation with us holding him, he's the 2 guy. But that'll be really good for the future. So there's nothing better than doing it. And then Malik getting the reps with the 1s this spring. I mean, that'll really pay off, next year in the future.
Gus, Anders Carlson, his little 1-step before he kicks. Have you seen a kicker do that before, and how much of an advantage is that for him?
I just really watch once they kick it and it goes through and it comes off his foot. And he made it from 62, and it would have been good probably from 70. So I don't get too much into the technique
Well,
part.
sometimes you time the punter, but I didn't know if that was.
Oh, you talking about the timing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, our timing with the snapper and the holder and the kicker is really good.
Is that kick live?
It was not live. No, not that particular kick.
How, turnovers were an issue with the first scrimmage. How was that today?
It was not as much. I know in the 2-minute situation there was an interception, but you know, last Saturday that was really a huge factor. But I think that they protect the ball a lot better today.
You have the rules Jared out for anything?
Not ready to make that call yet. We'll see. We'll see this week. You know, this week he did all 7-on-7, did 1-on-1, did some pre-practice protection versus the defense and and all that. But we'll make a call on that next week.
How do running backs do as far as the protection issues, all those things? I know you have to watch it on film. But
Yeah, you know, I'll say this, just big picture with the running backs. I mean, there hadn't been a whole lot of just bust, even with the young guys. So I've been encouraged and impressed with that. It's just a matter of stepping up and getting it done versus, you know, live guys. And we've got quite a bit of protection work, probably more than we've had, you know, any other spring. But that's been by design too. And you know, so far as a group, I think they've done a solid job.
Seems like these last 2 springs, we hear Marquise McLean's name a lot coming out in these scrimmages. Can he take the next step, especially with these 2 injuries, and be a guy that contributes?
You know, I think he can. I mean, he's starting to become a veteran guy, and you can see that, you know, the lights clicking on, and really special teams. A lot of times you can look at special teams, and it tells you a lot about whether offense or defense is where they're at, and he's really shown up big in special teams this spring. And, you know, he gives Cody the flexibility. He plays a lot of different positions too, so I think he's had a solid spring so far.
What have you seen out of Malik Miller this spring, and then Chip was saying on Thursday?
Yeah, you know, Malik's a veteran guy. I mean, he knows the offense inside and out, and so our expectations are very high for him. But, you know, I know that, you know, Coach Horton and Coach Lindsey have been pleased so far.
Whitlow has that big playability. How is he balancing that with kind of learning the finer points of being a running back?
Yeah, you know, I think every practice you see him, you know, get a little bit better, a little more comfortable. He does have some ability, just playmaking ability, but just the base run game, protection game, you know, and he's not the only one. Ace is the same way. I mean, you can see those 2 guys, every practice they're a little more confident, and that's a good thing.
Big Cat continue to impress you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's turned it up. There's no doubt he's turned it up and starting to get there.
Who was the second team center today?
Tucker Brown was back, and so Caleb and Tucker got the reps. Anything else?
Prince Tager. Have you seen him start to take a step forward there?
Yeah. I'm glad you asked that question, because last week a light has come on. Prince's ceiling is very high. He is very talented. He does have experience, and he's a guy that we've challenged to take that next step. And this past week, he's been a different player, and not just a different player, but really starting to be more vocal and starting to be more of a leader. And that's what, you know, Coach Grimes is looking for. He's looking for leaders up front, but I've been very encouraged with that.
What's that mean for an offensive line when you can maybe solidify that spot down on the floor?
Yeah, left tackle in our league, it's one of the most important positions, you know, on our team, and but I've been encouraged.
As it relates to Eli and Will, Gus, just because the proposed rule with the red shirt, being able to keep a red shirt if you're playing up to 4 games, does that give you some hope that if that rule gets passed next month, that those guys could return?
You know, I think probably better to answer that question once we get a little farther along and see where those guys are at. I mean, we're hopeful, but at the same time, we'll see. And I'll know a lot more if we can get to August, you know, about where they're at.
On that rule, though, I would imagine you're in favor of that proposal of keeping a red shirt if you're playing up to 4 games.
Yes. No, there's no doubt about that.
How has Calvin Ashley performed this spring? I know he's been a lot with the second team, and guess he was sick the other day.
Yeah.
He was back out there today. Is
Yeah.
he still dealing with that, or is he?
No, him and Trox really has been rotating, some good competition, Calvin. And we've had a couple guys with the flu, you know, Darius Slayton didn't practice today with the flu. Calvin was the same. So that's going around. I think Denson was the practice before. So, no, we're pleased with Calvin. He's progressing. You see him getting better and better. And, you know, the thing about that offensive line, those young guys, I mean, our defensive line's very talented. And so, you know, when you go against talented guys, you know, it's good, and it's been a progression. But I'd say Calvin and Trox is both done a really good job. And they've gotten reps with the ones and the twos, and I think there's some good competition. They'll give us some depth too.
To the layman, when people see all these injuries in the spring and some injuries in the past during the season, especially at key spots, starters, people wonder about the strength and conditioning program. It's kind of explained. I mean, do you think that your strength and conditioning program is helping these guys?
Yeah, our strength and conditioning program is one of the best in the country. And then really last year, we stayed really healthy for the most part without just a couple minor things. And so I feel very good about that. You know, this spring, you're talking about the injuries, you know, both of those were really fluke deals. And if you look back at, I guess since we've been here five years or whatever, maybe this is the sixth spring, but we've had very few season-ending injuries in the spring. You know, probably count them on one hand. So, you know, Russell is the best. There's no doubt about that. And, you know, there's fine lines. I mean, you got to practice. But when fluke things happen, that's just part of the game. And so what you got to do is you got to get other guys ready. And on the flip side of that is you're going to get other guys ready. They're going to get the reps in the spring, and hopefully we'll get those other guys back.
All right, Coach.
Do you have
Okay.
I'm sorry. Do you have any changes in the way you handle A-Day, the scrimmage?
Not as of right now. I'm not ready to say anything right now. Okay, thanks.